John, I think about the only good thing we can say about 2010 is it's nearly over.
You're absolutely right. And I think it's the same for everybody, Jim. I really do. It's been a very difficult year, a year where you've had to look at your business very carefully and look at how you spend your short cash dollars that you have for marketing, how you can actually go and get customers and bring them in to even look at your aircraft. Tough year. I hope it gets better for next year.
And yet you're still moving product.
We are still moving product. I think we're very fortunate because we're a very small manufacturer, and so we went into the downturn in the market with no whitetails, no unsold aircraft, and we've been able to do a build to order process, so we haven't got lots of cash tied up in unsold inventory as a lot of manufacturers do. So we've been able to plan and structure our business during the difficult times to enable us to get through them at a much lower, slower level, but we still produce aircraft to order, and we're still doing that.
Now, what's your clientele telling you at this stage of the game? One of the great things about the P180 is that the operating economics, are, especially in this environment, are, well, pretty damn good. That's got to be helping you somewhat. But are the folks with their airplanes right now, is there an increase, a decrease in operating them at this point?
We actually see that, I think I'd like to answer that question two ways, Jim. First of all, our private customers, they haven't slowed down their flying habits at all. They're flying at under 100 gallons an hour in an aircraft like the P180. Also, our commercial users like Avanti, our biggest customer, have 55 of our aircraft. Their flight hours are increasing and continue to increase. And as I mentioned during our press conference, 120 hours per aircraft per month, every month. It goes a whole load towards the robustness of the aircraft to be used in that type of usage.
Now, at the same time, you've mentioned that you've had to, well, you've been smart enough to look at alternative markets, but some of these are beginning to look promising for you. I was particularly interested in the application of the P180 as an air ambulance vehicle.
Yeah, we think that we've actually taken a look at the product, and I have to say to you, there's a whole bunch of things that we actually haven't talked about here today because they're too early in progression. But the aircraft is so flexible and so adaptable that we think it has lots and lots of usage. Already in Europe, it's used by the government for drug enforcement, coast guards. It's being used for coastline patrol and everything. And so what I would say to you is that really the aircraft terribly flexible, terribly adaptable, and we think there's an opportunity there which we haven't exploited nearly as much as we can do, and we're doing that in future.
Freedom through performance. At Cirrus, performance is not simply the measurement of a single design parameter. Rather, it's a total package. It's optimum balance of speed, efficiency, comfort, safety, ease of flight, and quality. We call it Cirrus Flying 2.0. Aren't you ready to feel the freedom?
Well, what other markets do you think the P180 is ready to start moving into?
Geographically, we certainly think that in Southeast Asia there's opportunity with the product. As was mentioned during the press conference, certainly Southern Africa and also South America, and in fact the whole of Latin America really has a great opportunity, I think, for us, and we're going to take maximum advantage of it.
Now, with all the hubbub about green airplanes and green use and so forth, both from a standpoint of the standard ecological issues with fuel and so forth, and of course with noise being an issue as well, how is this airplane holding its own at this point?
It's holding its own remarkably well because it is such a green aircraft. One of the things I would say to you is one of our competitors at the moment is advertising their aircraft as very green, and they produce a table of all the aircraft to compare against. You'll notice there's one aircraft missing from that table. And that might just be the Piaggio P180. The reason being that we are, without question, the greenest aircraft around. And so as a result of that, I think we're very, very focused, and we will continue to be focused on the ecological aspect of our aircraft.
Are people really buying airplanes on that basis, though?
I don't think it's as big a feature in North America, but certainly in Europe, yes, it's a question. I think Europe is actually far more focused upon the green aspect of a lot of their purchases on boats, cars, planes, whatever it may be. And certainly I think it's a key focus.
Now, you mentioned something I haven't heard a lot of people mention, especially here, and especially in the size of these markets. But you indicate that you've directly benefited from the work done by the associations on bonus depreciation.
Yeah, for us, I think as a manufacturer, it's very, very important to recognize the organisation's work, and I think both Gamma and also NBAA, they've done a tremendous amount. I've been up there with Gamma as well, and we lobbied the Hill earlier in May trying to find traction, and eventually bonus depreciation came in. Those guys have worked really, really hard. I don't know where the doors will lead, but certainly the doors are open now, and they were slammed shut before.
The beauty of the Release 9 system architecture is that you have two fully redundant integrated flight displays. Each has access to all the systems and data. Providing full redundancy and eliminating traditional reversionary modes, Release 9 allows either display to be configured as the PFD. Now your failure modes are much more manageable because you can continue to fly with the same familiar display symbology without the need to relearn composite modes you don't typically fly with. Avidyne's Integra Release 9 is truly the next generation in fully integrated flight deck technology.
How does Piaggio look for 2011 at this point, and the Piaggio crystal ball, what are you seeing?
The Piaggio crystal ball of Italian crystal. What I would say to you is that 2011, I think, is going to be another very difficult year. I think it would be folly to say, oh, it's okay, come January the 2nd, it's all going to be better, and there's going to be buyers everywhere, and it's a different market. I think really, as you progress through 2011, it will start to pick up a little bit. But I have to say, really, I think it's going to be a difficult year. I think we're well structured now to cope with it, though, and our business will just go through the year, and we look to better markets and newer markets to go into. That's why, Jim, one of our key focuses is around Brazil, because Brazil, very little recession. So they're spending. There's none of the inhibitions that there are here. So absolutely. So we're going to go down and take some of them, and that's what we'll be doing. Our first deliveries in Brazil will start place early 2011.
Let me add one more question to this, because one of the things I noticed in the past, you said, we're going to put a lot of effort into service and support, and darned if you didn't do it. Your service and support situation, especially in North America, is significantly more impressive than last year.
Yes, it is. To us, as I say, customer support is absolutely vital, and it's so imperative that we give a person total peace of mind when they purchase an aircraft. They know it's going to be looked after by factory-trained technicians, and that they're going to be readily available all over the places where they fly. We've done that. We've put a big network in place in North America, and we will continue to do that. And as we go into Brazil, same sort of thing.